all right, party people. What's going on? All right, let me get my stuff together here. Don't know how many people gonna be able to hop on tonight. This is impromptu. Um, all right, notifications. Let me know what's going out there, everybody. All right. All right, what's going on? What's going on? I'm just seeing who all's gonna hop up on here. Still gonna say what I gotta say, but we gotta give people a chance to hop on and everything. Make sure y'all can hear me okay and all of that good stuff. All right. All right. I got a little bit of a lag thing going on here. So not sure what's going on with that. So let me close out some of this other stuff because sometimes I be having too much stuff going on in the background. So all right. So if y'all can hear me with no issues, just let me know. Throw a one in the chat or something and all of that. And it's been a while since I've gone live. So all right. Let me close that out. Oops. I think I forgot to do something. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this is when I say impromptu, I mean this is really I wasn't okay, I did do it right. All right. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just I did a rarity. I actually took a nap. That's why I'm looking all disheveled probably. I took a nap today and I wasn't even trying to, but when I got home, I was tired. I had to go do a quick sign in for a client today, my direct client. And unfortunately, man, it's a little sad because that might be my last one doing it for them because they might have to shut their title business down. um, and I learned something today about that. Depending on how a title company is set up and who they're affiliated with, um, if they're affiliated with another title company or say if they're offshoot of a bigger title company, like say like Old Republic. Old Republic is one of the big ones out there. And if you are an affiliate of Old Republic and you're a title company, affiliate title company of Old Republic, but you're not getting enough business. I didn't realize this that the Old Republic can pull their agreement with you. Yeah, gotta lay down sometimes. And yeah, the body did give me some signals. Whoo, it gave me some signals. And so my direct client, when they hit me up, it was like, this might be my last one. And I was like, man, and me and them, we had a good run. We had a real good run with each other. I was always able to be there for them and stuff. So I'm sort of sad. And I'll be honest, I was actually thinking that if I decided to do a title company, which am still thinking about it down the road, not right now, down the road, I would learn from them. I would have them mentor me and show me how to do it. So when you don't have enough business coming in, if you're an affiliate of that organization, that bigger title company, who it could be Villa Title probably or Old Republic, it could be BankServe, whoever. Um, they could say, okay, we're pulling our agreement with you because you're not generating enough business, so you're on your own. And hey, what's going on, LaShawn? What's going on? I'm doing all this and forgot to hit my stuff. So um Trying to figure out why I got this lag going on my thing here. I'm trying to figure that out, y'all. Trying to figure that out. Don't know. So if it freezes up, I don't know what's going on. Might be a StreamYard thing because my internet is good. My internet is fine and all of that. So I don't know. But my apologies if you see a lag or I freeze up. Don't hop off and all of that good stuff. Um, but yeah, so that also can explain why signings are down because if the title company is connected to somebody and they have a certain volume of work that they have to do, and that title company isn't doing it, well, they might go out of business. And then if you have a signing company directly related to them, then that could cause a drop in business. So the signing company is tied into this title company, and the title company isn't getting enough business coming through because the lender who they're connected with is going down. Down, it can make things difficult. So if you're working direct, in this case I was working direct with this title company, then you wind up losing business. You see what I'm saying? So this is why you have to have that balance of direct versus um, signing companies. Everybody's trying to put all of their eggs in one basket. 2020, 2021, everybody was bragging and all of this stuff about how they would, working direct, and they was looking down on people working with signing companies. They was putting us down. They were just making us trying to make us feel bad, won't making me feel bad because I knew the deal. I knew what was going down. And I learned from the best, Bill Soroka, that you got to have a balance. You got to have signing companies and direct. And it took me a while. It took me probably a really good 3 years to develop a reputation to where direct people will hire me. And I think some companies out there watch you and see what you're doing. They can see your profiles and all that. So as you update your profiles, they see that, oh, okay, this person is coming along. And a lot of my direct clients came from other people referring me, working with realtors and working with other people that say, hey, well, you want to get this guy a shot. And then I go in there and do a great job. So I'm real sad that they're going out of business. Hopefully they can rebound. Maybe they'll, get connected somewhere else. But that's the nature of the business. That aspect I did not know. So that's why I wanted to share that with y'all for y'all to have in your mind that when you're sitting here fussing about why you can't get any signings, why there's no notifications, keep in mind if the signing company is tied into a title company and that title company starts going down in business, that signing company is going to start struggling. Hence, these companies are signing companies going out of business and not paying notaries. So all of this stuff is intermingled and tangled and tied into each other. And that's what you need to be aware of. Now, for me, I somewhat understood that from the get-go, how things were connected. But for a lot of notaries, they was just like, they just got the blinders on, just looking at the dollar signs. And if they're not seeing the money coming in, they're like, why is it not coming in? And they don't realize how connected everything is. You know what I'm saying? Everything is connected. Um, and that's what you have to keep in mind. So, oh man. And whatever y'all want to talk about, if y'all got any questions or comments or whatever, feel free to throw them in the comment there. But I just wanted to hop on and do a live. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. And I know y'all probably rolling your eyes like, yeah, Griff, you always say that, and then it'd be 2 days later you hopping off, or Mrs. G got to come up here and grab you by your ear and pull you out the room because you sitting up here on the doing a live for too long. So I get it. But I just wanted to talk to y'all about a couple of things. If y'all saw my Fritter Friday that I put up, which was yesterday. Today is Saturday, the 18th. Y'all saw me talk. I talked about a signing that I had, and two signings actually, but the main signing where there was a language barrier, and and I got some interesting feedback, and I've talked to some people offline about it. And one of the feedbacks, it was a comment that was in there, and I appreciate the comment, but they were saying, that basically going back and forth and doing too much, basically I lost out of the deal for as my time and the cost for me to do it. It's like this per hour thing. And if y'all been following me on this channel, y'all know when it comes to business, we don't look at per hour. Business owners look at income, or our revenue, our income versus expenses. It's not about hours, because in our W-2 we put in way more hours than what we're paid for. So if you can put in all those hours in your W-2 and you're only getting paid $22 an hour, but you're really working much more, you don't fuss about it, because you just say, well, I got my benefits, I got my retirement, I get every holiday off. So you find ways to justify giving this company more of your heartbeats. Why can't you put those same heartbeats into your business? You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So I make sure I put all of my heartbeats into my business now. So if I do have to start a signing at 11 in the morning, like that one, and drive an hour there, and then drive an hour back, go do other signings, then go meet them someplace, 30, 25, or 15, 20 minutes from my house. And only reason because of traffic was that longer time to drive there, and then be there till midnight. I'm okay with that, because there was a greater purpose in there. And the greater purpose for me at that time, and really always, is to establish the right thing to do as a notary. That's what that was my whole goal in hanging in there, and sort of going back and forth with the real estate agent and all of that, was that I was trying to set, and I believe I was successful in setting a precedence that notaries are responsible for doing things correct. We are commissioned, and when y'all see me do this, I'm talking about we took an oath to do things correct. So if that's the case, when you're asking me to do something that I know is off, doesn't pass the smell test, or as our state says, at least in Virginia, says we have a right to refuse to do a notarization if we don't think things are correct, then how did I lose out if I'm executing what I'm supposed to do as a notary? And then I was able to set the precedence that this is how things are supposed to be done. Because now my direct client said, in the future, here's what we're going to do to ensure this. Now, we're not saying that we're not going to service clients who have a language barrier. We're going to make sure that these things are in place because we didn't know. So they had enough trust in me at that moment to say, we're going to trust the notary. If you say this shouldn't be done and this is the way it should be done, then we're going to go with that. That's what we're supposed to be doing as a notary. That is to me, the ultimate goal is that when we step in there, the people are like, hey, there we go. That's just looking. I'm like, wait a minute, that's off center. My bad, y'all. That's what the goal is. So for me, I didn't lose anything. I understand when you're looking at things from a per hour basis, what you're making in my time and this, that, and the other. And I find it so interesting that notaries talk about how valuable their time is when they've spent all of this time in somebody else's world, somebody else's job, somebody else's business. But then in your own business, you're trying to restrict and you're trying to justify that I should be paid for every step I make and every move I take and all of that. Not my song, the Sting song. Doesn't make sense when you have an opportunity to create an environment where people can trust you. So now that direct client has a great deal more of respect and trust. And when they compare me, or really compare other notaries to me, if let's just say there's another notary who comes in who's a part of this here company, and they have a signing and it slips through the crack that there's a language barrier, and that notary signs off on all of that and just say, okay, well, whoever, and just goes through the process and doesn't do things right. Now they have a standard to compare to. They say, wait a minute. Griff said this is the way we do it, and we got evidence from the National Notary Association, because I sent them documentation that this is the way signing's supposed to go when a notary is working with somebody who they can't communicate with in the same language. Why did you sign off on this paperwork and you couldn't understand them and they couldn't understand you? That's going to make things look bad for that notary. Not trying to make notaries look bad, but it does a whole lot for me. And they're like, hmm. So that opens up the door of opportunity for me. And I had an opportunity to do a translation one. Okay. Now, translation, interpretation, whatever the right phrase is, I just use the word translate. Um, it opens the door up for me. It shows another thing that I can do and that I can put in my profile, hint, hint, the profile, and say that I also have worked with translators to conduct closings, and I have. I even and I haven't didn't put it in my profile yet, but I even a year and a half ago worked with a sign language person to work with a couple, and the person was a neutral third party. Boom, boom, boom. We got it done. Everything was smooth. So that's why it's important for people to understand that it's easy to be a notary when everything is going good. But when somebody challenges you, when somebody asks you to do something wrong, when somebody questions you trying to do things right and say that, well, I ain't never seen that before, I ain't never heard that before. What do you mean you have to do it this way? And now the question is, are you going to stand on your ground or are you going to tuck tail and run? If I know that I'm right, I'm going to stand my ground. Now I had to leave in order because things was getting tense, and even the real estate agent for the builder saw noticed that it was getting tense. And they even told me later, like, yeah, I'm glad you left because they said I was getting concerned that the translator who was being difficult might do something. And they said that's what I was picking up, that they was getting really, really, really animated and something and something might pop. So that's why I'm glad that you removed yourself. I said, yes, that's why I removed myself. So I did what was right and everything. But and then today, and I know I'm just sort of might be all over the place. And like I said, if y'all got anything y'all want to talk about, any questions about the industry, feel free to throw them in the chat. Because I would love to talk about it, answer it and everything. um, and all that good stuff. If you somebody that I know and trust, I might bring you up on stage. I don't know. I don't know. If you got my number, hit me up and I'd be more than happy to bring you up. Because lately with StreamYard, you've been getting these little weird people trying to hop on people's lives and do some creepy stuff and all of that. But I know how y'all are. Y'all don't be wanting to hop on. But that's why we got Notaries Anonymous, my man Q. We got Notaries Anonymous with him on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. So y'all hop on there if y'all want to vent and talk smack about stuff. Follow his rules, and everything will be cool. All right. But and I'm gonna talk about my business strategy in a second. Um, and I'm trying to lay the groundworks here with some stuff. It's so important for us to do things right. On Instagram today, I did two posts, and I was talking about the fact that you have to be mindful of how you're charging people and following and listening to people who are talking about all this stuff that you can do when it comes to power of attorneys and wills. There's this movement now that people are like trying to come up with loopholes, to be honest with you, on how to do power of attorneys and wills, how to find ways that you as a notary can prepare legal documents when most states say notaries cannot. They're not allowed to unless they're an attorney. And some of these practices are sketchy. And what I would ask you to do is you need to talk to your state. You hear what the practices are, or the loopholes that people tell you, and then you need to go to your state and ask them, is this allowed? Now, I'm not saying you go rat somebody out, but you still need to ask them, because guess what? You're the one that's going to be in trouble if you get caught. So you ain't got to rat anybody out. The problem is, if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, you're going to get ratted out by the person who knows you shouldn't be doing it. And guess what? You're going to be in trouble. So today I did a sign in, and this is for my direct client that's about to go out of business. Um, when I walked in there, it didn't click in until I saw the gentleman. I seen him before. I had did a will for him, for a family member of his. So my direct client knows this couple. And I didn't know how they knew each other. I just knew they knew each other. And she said, "Hey, they need a notary for a will, and can you do this?" And this is months ago. This is last year. This is in 2022. I said, "Yeah, I can do that." Coordinated with them, went to the house, got it all done, charged them the normal notary fees for the state of Virginia, which is $5 per stamp, and then I charged a travel fee, and went in, did what I had to do, was gone. And fast forward all the way to today, or a couple of days ago, I was told that there was a signing that she needed me to do, and it was for the people that I did the will for, and it just didn't click in. So when I get there, I see the guy, and he's like, "Hey, we meet again." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, guess where I'm meeting them at? At a real estate office. Guess whose real estate office it is? That person. I didn't realize that I'm going to this real estate office to meet this couple because they said, "Yeah, come over to our," and they mentioned real estate, but I was thinking like they was working for like a one of the big boy companies and stuff. No, they have their own real estate company that they're selling properties and stuff and all of that for clients. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they're doing very well. So I walk in there, do it, and then their office manager was like, "Well, can I sit in?" I was like, "Sure, I don't have no problem with that." And I said, "What you trying to? You want to be a notary?" She said, "Yeah, I'm looking into that." I said, "Come on in. I'll talk to you about some things and show you. You can see how I do things here." So she's watching me, and I'm starting to share different things about what we do as notaries, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. And as as always, I did the oath, and I said, did the oath for the signers, and then I explained to the office manager that that is very important for us to do because if there's an affidavit, they have to be sworn in. Dot dot dot. Whenever I explain why I do the oath, whether directly to the person who I'm doing it to, because sometimes they will ask, or to somebody who might be there, I pay attention to the responses and the reaction to the people looking, they're listening to me do this explanation. And most of the times when you see somebody do their heads like this in agreement with you when you explain the importance or the reason why, that means they're either an attorney or they have some type of experience as a notary. Come to find out, the owner, the lady owner of the property, I mean of the real estate company, she used to be a notary. I remember, and I don't, excuse me, I don't know if she's currently active as a notary, but I remember her. But she said, "Yeah, I still have all my old notary stamps." So that tells me she understands. So here, now the point of this whole story is this: do you think I would have that opportunity today if I had overcharged them back then? If I would have went over there to their house and overcharged them and charged them $400-500 to do a very basic, simple will, not knowing that the person who I'm doing it for knows notarial law, used to be a notary, all of that. Because just because you're not actively in a notary no more doesn't mean you don't understand the basics of it and what you should and shouldn't be doing. If I would have overcharged them then, they would have went back to my direct client and said, "What is up with this guy? He overcharged us. We don't like that." That would have put that person, my direct client, in a bad light, could have looked bad on them, and they could have just dropped me right then and there and said, "You did my you did my client wrong. You did somebody that I know personally wrong." And then I wouldn't have been able to get hired because that same couple who I did the will for, guess what? They went to their title person, which was my direct client, and said, "We want him." This is how why I say everything is tied in. Everything is it meets, it's related. You got to do things right. You can't just look for the moment. In the moment, yeah, you can in your mind justify 400 and put somebody in a position and be like, "Well, I'm here, you need this, so you might as well pay me and give me this money." And you forcing somebody and you making them feel bad about not paying you, and you're making them feel like they have no other choice but to pay you what you say because you showed up. That's like a company saying, "Well, you got a job, don't you? What are you worrying about? What are you talking about? You need a raise. You should be happy with what we paying you. You're working, right? You got a job." So be quiet, get back over there and work. You don't like it when people do that to you. So why would you do that to them just to make a buck? You don't want a company doing that to you just so they can save a buck. Get what I'm saying? See how the tables turn? So that's why it was important for me to have done things right. I can't even remember how much. I know it was, I can't even remember how much, maybe $45 I made on that deal, the wheel. And some people probably, oh man. See, this is why you need to take my class on power of attorneys and how you can get extra money. What does your state law say? In the story. What does your state law says? If your state law says you can do it, then roll with it. If they say you can't, then you don't. It's that simple. And feel free to ask if y'all got any questions about anything. I'm just sort of talking tonight and all of that. And I'm gonna talk to y'all about my business strategy now. Um, my business strategy, yeah, and we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about in the drop it down there in the comment section. Got my throat lozenges because I can feel my throat drying up already. All this running of the mouth I'm doing. So my business strategy has pretty much stayed the same. Okay. If y'all seen some of my older videos, I talked about this that my goal, my monthly goal has been $6,000 a month. Um, Let me go back to let's go to the go. Signing service asked me to backdate because the package got lost in the mail. I called the NNA and had them email me the reason why I couldn't backdate the jurat and acknowledgement. That is correct. They will they will ask you to do that, but you can't backdate. Like if you're having them sign and they're like, okay, they're going to sign today on the 18th for something they did on the 12th. We need you to backdate it that it was done on the 12th, but they did it today. Yeah, but they originally did it then, and we lost everything. Okay, and see the other side of it is you don't want them. We can't date for the future and notarize for the future. So how is it that I'm able to notarize and date for the past? It has to be current. That's the thing. And I know I've lost business with some companies because one, I won't backdate. Two, I won't um, collect closing funds because I'm not allowed to in my state. I'm not. I'm not allowed to. And the third one is I'm not allowed to notarize the note. Now, I can add an attachment to it, but I can't actually certify that I am that the note and the deed are tied to it. Just I did a video on that. If you ever want to see that video, just Google Griffin on YouTube, Griffin Notary Note, NOTE, and you'll see that video I did about that. Um, but I put it this way: when you be truthful, when you operate in truth and honesty, you can sometimes lose money. When you operate in truth and honesty, you can sometimes lose money because a lot of people don't really want to operate in truth and honesty. They just want to make money by any means necessary. And the only time they want to operate in truth and honesty is if the person who's paying them wants truth and honesty. Oh, I'll be honest and truthful. Oh, you gonna pay me? Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's right. Notaries, don't do that no more. Stop backdating, you notaries, bad people, you. But until somebody with a bigger stick than them says something, hey, backdate this and backdate that and cross this out and cross that out. And you're right. All money ain't good money. But for some people, they haven't figured it out. And there's a lot of people who have that, who will say that in one breath, or really in the same breath, say it, and then not talk about you, Bridget, no way, shape, or form. But I'm just saying there are notaries out there who say this, but they do complete opposite because they're like, shoot, I gotta pay my bills, pump all that. They talk a good game, but quietly they like backdate, 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 and they just doing it up and they don't care because in all honesty, unless they say something publicly, who's going to know? And that's why a lot of times you'll get a phone call about backdating. They won't type it out because there's a record. They will call you. They will tell you, "Hey, we need you to fill out this all-purpose acknowledgement." You get that in the email, but then all of a sudden you get a phone call, and yeah, by the way, oh, we need you to backdate it to. And my thing is, if you've been a signing company or a title company for any length of time, you should know whether or not you should be doing that. And I think you have a responsibility as a signing company to know the state law and understand the state law for the notaries that are being contracted out by you, which means pay for an NNA membership, get the hotline, have your staff call the NNA. Hey, can a notary do this? Can a notary do that? And everything. Good night. You about to bounce out? Or are you, I don't know if that good night I'm bouncing or good night I'm in, but good night to you. So that's what you got to take into an account. That's what they should be doing and everything. So my business strategy is simple. It's real simple and it has worked for me. And it's based off of when I'm getting paid. Because one of the things I had, I mean, like one of the things that oh, you good. One of the things that I had to learn was when am I getting paid? When average. So we know there's some companies right now that's paying in 30, 60 days. They're 30, 60 days out. They're paying 45, 60 sometimes for normal now for a lot of these companies. So my business strategy for making money with the notary business is simply this. From the 1st through the 15th, I'm trying to take as much work as I can. And for the most part, irregardless of the dollar amount, it's just like $6,000 a month was my goal. Okay. Actually it's 8 now. And I know that's gonna be a stretch depending on where you're at in the country. It's a little stretch for my area, but still it's 8 grand total of everything that I'm doing, not just from the notary. But minimum, still want to pull in 8 from the notary bit. I mean, 6 from the notary business, 6 grand from the notary business. That's my goal. So what I figured out is this: we know things get hot and heavy at the end of the month. At the end of the month, you can probably pull in about, for me, my area, I can pull in about 2 grand a month. I can only 2 grand during the last from the 16th through the end of the month. I can probably pull in about 2 grand. I said, well, if I can pop 4 grand for the first 15 days of the month, then I got my 6. Okay. So I'm not really focused on this 15 signers a week at, $150 a pop and I'm making 9 grand a month. I get that, but that ain't how it flows in my area. So yeah, they did. They did. Yeah. And I talked to them about that and everything, and they did. They did. But by gaining their respect and keeping constant business coming in from them meant more to me than just getting an extra fee from them. However, they had no problem. And I actually, when I before I had to send my invoice to them, I asked them and I said, "Hey, if I add this, are y'all okay with that?" I didn't just add, and they said no problem. So I did. Okay, so I have no problem. I had no problem with that whatsoever, and they was okay with that. But yes, I did get compensated, extra for that, and everything. So I'm happy. And I was just told about another property that they have, that they're looking at having me do next week, and I didn't even know this property existed. So all of us, and they like, hey, can you also have you sent you out there? I said, no, I never been to that one. Okay, well, you're gonna be sorry. We'll send you out to that one. I said, so I'm happy about that. So the spots that I have to go to, it's an hour's drive, but guess what? It's well worth it. So my business strategy has always been to do as much as I can. And I'm gonna show y'all some numbers real quick, how that has flowed for me from November till this month. Okay. From November to this month, how things have flowed. And I might have to zoom this in a little bit. know how you looking all quirky. Um, let's see here. All right, so let me show y'all what I mean by what I'm trying to do for as bringing money in the first through the 15th. And the reason why, because right now, a lot of the companies are paying by the 15th of the next month. So what does that mean? If you're making X amount of dollars from the first through the 15th of this month, that means next month you have that bad boy hitting your bank account. Some notaries don't do a whole lot in the beginning of the month purposefully, and they try to wait till the end of the month when you have those end of the month closing. So they try to stack everything then with doing all of these signings at the end of the month. In other words, they're doing the reverse. They do maybe 1 or 2 grand at the beginning of the month, and then they're trying to do 3, 4, 5 grand at the end of the month. Now, depending on how your finances roll and how you if you don't have a problem waiting to the end of the next month, because that's maybe when all your bills are. Okay, cool. But a lot of my bills are in the first part of the month. So I need that money to come in around the 15th of the month, and then I can pay those bills. So, and then I got money coming in after the 15th and all that. Now, there are some companies that whatever you do between the first and the end of the month, they're going to pay you on the 15th. But there are some companies, they pay once a month. In other words, they pay based off of what was done from the first through the 15th. And they say we pay, 30 days. So anything that I got from the first to the 15th, I should be getting by the 15th of the next month. That's my goal. That's what I've seen consistently. So today is the 18th. And yes, a bunch of money has come in from closings that I did last month. And then I got money coming in for the rest. So let me show y'all real quick um, how things have flowed for the past November, December, January, what, 3.5 months. All right. Let's see if this shows up. All right. So that hopefully that's all right. So I'm showing y'all the numbers. So from November 1st through to November 15th of 2022, I did 32 signings for that dollar amount. Then the end of November, I did 28 signings for that dollar amount. December, 32 signings for the first part of the month, and then 21 signings for the last part of the month. Then in January, things was a little weird because for the first part of the month, I only did 19 signings. Then at the end of the month, I did 38. But then this month, for the first part of the month, I've done 39 signings for the first 15 days at that dollar amount. So this is how things can flow. So this money here is what I got rolling in at least by the 15th of next month. That's what I want. See, my business strategy is to do as much as I can in the first part of the month, regardless of the dollar amount, for the most part. Depending on, some crazy travel, going 4 5. I ain't doing, I can't do anything like that. But you think about it for yourself. If you can pull in these dollar amounts for the first part of the month, 22 here, 26 there, be like, which would be more, but 18, and then you got this, and you're getting that by the 15th. The increase is due to the direct clients. Ah, I haven't really looked into that. Partly, yes. For this month, yes. But for my direct client for this month, I would say I've only done 4 or 5. So not really, to be honest. No, not really. For them, I mean, For that direct client plus another one, I've probably done no more than maybe 10. I've probably only done maybe 10, and I have to go double check that. Before as a direct client this month, it will probably have to be 10 signings. I would say 10 out of the 39. Everything else has been signing companies. And the bulk of my work has been signing companies. Um, I think last year, last June, and this is a video, man, I have to go dig it up. But well, at the end of the year, I mean, well over 50, over about over half, well over half of my closings, my work is coming from direct clients. You know, yeah, most majority of my work comes from direct client. I mean, not direct, I mean signing companies. My bad, signing companies. Scratch that, from signing companies. The majority of my work comes from signing companies. They're the ones that's feeding me, primarily through SnapDocs and signing order. And then I'm starting to get signature closers. So all of a sudden, I'm starting to be able to grab orders from signature closers, which I went darn near the whole, I think all of last year, and I couldn't get not one signing from signature closing because everybody else was snatching them up. So it really doesn't matter to me who it comes from. And that's one of the things that I believe has hurt a lot of notaries in this business, is that notaries are trying this strategy of status symbol. I call it the status symbol strategy of where their business is coming from. Now, I know there are some companies out there, or some organizations, or some trainers and some groups that they give you certain discounts and benefits and kudos based on how many direct clients you have. So if you got direct clients, they might hook you up with access to different information that they have and all of that. The question then becomes, are you making the money that you need to make? And to me, if I was a trainer that had, on that kind of level, personally, I really wouldn't care whether you had a direct client or signing companies. I wouldn't look down on you or the method in which you're bringing money in. I'll be like, hey, you making money for your family. That's what matters. That is what matters. Okay. Because at the same time, a lot of these trainers out here, they're not making money doing signings anymore. So if you want to sit here and judge me because I don't have a lot of direct clients, or look at me as if I'm, the scum of the earth, or I'm less than a man because I don't have direct clients. Well, heck, you ain't even doing signings. You just sitting here pushing courses, which is nothing wrong with that. But don't look down on me for the method in which I take care of my family. That's the problem that I have with all of this. There's this status symbol strategy of, if you make money this way, then you're considered cool. If you made money that way, you're considered, not so cool, and we don't want to have anything to do with you. You get what I'm saying? So I have a problem with that. And I forgot to put y'all comments up here. I get lost on that sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. There are people making 10 grand a month with signing companies, um, and there's nothing wrong with that, because the bottom line is, not sure what GE stand for. Hope they ain't. Well, I know Tiny, they ain't nothing crazy, but I don't know what GE stand for. Sorry if I'm not down with the hip stuff. um, but that's my thing. So my strategy, as y'all saw, 32, 32, 19, and 39 for the first part of those months. So if my goal is, if I can keep that going, it'll work out. Now, for us, now my direct clients are paying me a little bit more consistently, so that opens up. However, I had a signing company that paid me a good fee for doing a commercial loan. Okay. And that commercial loan was more than what my direct clients paid me. So it all balances it out, So the consistent money coming in is through the signing companies. And then the direct clients just adds too. So it, it sort of makes up for some of the lower fee. Oh, good evening. Thank you. Okay. You know what? That's what I was thinking, but maybe my age is showing. Q gonna get me on that on the podcast. I know he is. See, I said podcast this time, man, instead of broadcast. So I thought that's what it meant. I'm serious. I did first the first thought came to my mind was General Electric. Okay, that shows my age there. Then I said, no, that's right. That must mean good evening. Gotcha. Thank you, lady. So the strategy is if you know when you're getting your checks, if you know, and even with the direct clients, they're not paying me at the table like, okay, here's your money. I gotta give them a invoice. And I sent my invoice out to 14 days, say, okay, here's the invoice and pay me in 14 days. Even like the one I did today, they said, okay, do you want us to pay you immediately right now, or do you want to wait till closing? I was like, you can wait till closing. Here's the invoice. Once y'all get all the funds, then you can pay me. So there are some clients, direct clients, that will pay me like instantaneously and say, okay, well, I'm going to cut you the check, and then they get their money on the back end. But I'm not, I got good relationships, and they pay me. I know they're gonna pay me. So that's not an issue and all of that. But it's about taking advantage of the opportunities and making yourself available. Now, I will say I've done a lot more for my more direct client work this month because it has been a little bit slower with some of the signing company stuff. So um I'm just rolling with it. Now, another part of my strategy, something new that I had to add in, and it's working a little bit at a time, it's getting better, is um, more marketing and general notary work for us, like Thumbtack. I don't really have any numbers to show y'all on the Thumbtack thing. Um, and I know there's a lot of people, especially on the gram and Facebook and all that, all got all these Thumbtack, techniques and tactics and stuff. I really think it's about where you're located. Where are you located and how fast you can respond. The faster you can respond, the easier it is. So, to make money on Thumbtack. Now it gets difficult when I'm out an hour away and somebody like, well, we need you now. So sometimes I have to just pass on that. Um, and that's just a part of the business. So I've been adding in more general notary work, and being available to people, especially the lower cost ones that people only have like one signature they need, and some of the other notaries are like, they not taking them. They like, mm-mm. And then especially when they're coming with the, oh, you need me to do that, it's going to be $85. When the person knows it shouldn't be $85, or they're telling me $200 when it's nowhere near should be $200. So then I'm coming in and they're like, okay, cool. And I'm more accommodating to them than a lot of other notaries. So if they say, well, can you meet me here? Can you meet me there? Can you show? Not a problem. So I'm much more accommodating than a lot of other notaries. So part of my strategy is the bottom line of my strategy, and it's been this way for the whole time. Once I understood when the pay comes from these companies, and most of the companies will pay you around between the 15th and 20th of the next month. I figured that if I can do as much work as I can between the 1st and the 15th of the current month, then there'll be this large sum of money coming in the next month between the 15th and the 20th. And that has been consistent with certain companies. Excuse me. There's one company I do, and I don't do a whole lot for them, maybe three or four a quarter, maybe five a quarter. But they send that check out on the 15th, it pops. I get it through Deluxe, and they come and they like, bam, here it is, the 15th of the month, like clockwork, whether it's on a Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter, holiday, that check comes, boom. And I know, so now I know when their orders come in, especially in the beginning part of the, or really any part of the month, because they pay you based off of what you did from the 1st through the 30th. As soon as that money comes, that order comes in, boom. Because I know, and I put forth every effort to do work for them because I know on the 15th of the next month, I'm getting paid. It's not a thing of we got you in 60 days. Now, do I do work for companies like that? Yes. I will do work for them, not a problem. But I know, okay, doesn't matter what time of the month I'm doing it, I'm not getting it for 60 days. You see what I'm saying? It's six, so I just roll with it. But all the other companies, and that's why sometimes doing those lower fee ones can benefit you financially. Hold on, what you say if I got a call for you? Well, that depends. And we was talking about that. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Because what some of the companies are doing, um, they're throwing that out to them to get done so they don't have to hire you to pay the normal fee. So you got to find out, talk to your state because they had a clubhouse, Star McQueen, she had a clubhouse and they was talking about this. Um that depends on you. That you have to really decide yourself. Some people will maybe call the title company themselves and it's like have a conversation with them. And I think probably that's the smartest thing to do and all of that. So, I mean, I would call them and say, so what you're asking for, you need a notary to notarize this because sometimes you want to make sure this is legit. That's the real thing. So for me, I would call the title company like, okay, give me who sent you these documents, and I need to contact them. And then I will call them and have a discussion with them. And you can probably have a discussion in such a way that you're like, okay, so this is what you want me to do. So you want me to notarize these documents for me. I need to know that this is okay. So my fee is this. Are you okay with that? Because you're asking, you know, it's sort of a roundabout way, but I have to make sure this stuff is legit because you have people claiming that they got something from a title company and they really didn't. So I would say you need to do some due diligence when people coming up to you with that, but that will be a you call. I can't tell you what to charge because the NNA says we can't, you know, sit up here and collude as do this, that, and the other. You have to go by what your state says. And keep in mind that those people who are calling you, they don't know the term general notary. So you're saying you get a general notary call. Is it really a general notary call? Because does that person calling you looking at it as general notary? They just looking at it as I need this document notarized. All I know is I got this. My parents passed away, and somebody sent me the documents and said go find a notary to get it signed. That's all I know. So they don't look at it as general notary versus non-general notary and all of that. They just look at it as I need a notary. You know what I'm saying? I just need a notary. So that's why I'm always talking about, there are loopholes, but is it good? And there's a way I've heard people say, well, I talked to that's a you call. It's really hard. And then I will say this. Sometimes the people who you're doing that for and you're not trying to gouge them, they will tip you. They will tip you. Um, and all that. Another way you could do it, let's just say you go with your state fees, whatever they may be, then you could probably reach back out because you got the documents, make note of who the title company is that sent it to, and call that title company. Now you have a chance to market yourself. You have a chance to market yourself directly to that title company and say, hey, I see y'all sent this out to this gentleman. I took care of that for y'all. Um, and here and here's an even better thing that you could probably do. Just thinking outside the box. Fred calls you up and say, hey, I got this, that, and the other. And you find out what type of documents are, you get the name of the company, and then you ask the company, so would y'all like for me to provide y'all a scan of this so that I can send, and all this, that, and the other. Are y'all okay with me charging, a fee for that, this service that I'm offering to you, company to company? You see what I'm saying? Do y'all have other work that you got coming in the area? Can we talk about, me being y'all go-to notary? So don't look at it as, oh, I'm getting taken advantage of. Look at how you can take that and turn it into a way that you can talk to them in a legitimate legal way to gain business from them. So, yes, let's say you did it for your state mandated fees, $5 a stamp and a travel fee, a nominal travel fee, what that y'all agreed to. And let's just say it ended up coming out to $35 because it wasn't really a whole lot of notarial things on there. It was a small seller's package or a purchase package, and you only made $35 following your state fees. Well, hey, title company, do you want a scan of these documents so you can go ahead on and start process? Because most time they want purchase and sale documents. They want us back, and if they want that, then you take your scanner. You have a good, you have your portable scanner, and then you do it. You see what I'm saying? Well, then you just walk away. You walk away because if somebody's trying to be slick, and you realize that's why you gotta pay attention. And I like the questions that you're asking. Great questions. If you see something ain't right, and people like to brag, people like to brag about who they are and stuff. And when people think they're getting over, it just bubbles up inside of them, and then and they just start, yeah, I'm screwing you over. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to be willing to ask questions. Now, keep this in mind. Let's look at it from this perspective. If you're unwilling to ask questions, and that's what we did a clubhouse on a couple of days ago with Star McQueen in her Supermom's notary room about ask questions to ask your trainer. If you're unwilling to ask a trainer questions, you'll carry that mentality in your notary business when you're out here in the field because you're concerned that if I ask questions, they might not want to have anything to do with me. I'm asking questions. That's why I didn't get caught up in that translating thing because I asked questions. Is this going on? That going on? What's happening? Mm-mm. So if you understand that, and that might have happened to you, and I understand the first time it happens, you don't know. But this is why I keep putting these videos out. And I've been saying over and over and over again. That's why I keep asking y'all, look at all my videos as much as you can. And you'll hear the recurring theme. You have every right to ask questions. And I say that constantly. But a lot of notaries, y'all don't want to ask questions because you feel that you're wrong. You wrong for doing it, or you don't want to offend anybody. Well, you're offended when they get over on you because you didn't ask questions. If they're asking you to notarize something on the low, and see, is it being on the low? Because my understanding, when you're working directly with a client, a individual, person to person, you're supposed to charge a state mandated fees. Now, if that person is coming to you as XYZ Corporation, that's different. And you and that company negotiate such and such. So, in other words, before you jump in there and just say yes, ask questions, figure out what the heck is going on, why it's going on. I had a signing that came up one night last week when and QDM was talking about it on the podcast, the broadcast on the podcast, and the links to the podcast is in the description. He was talking about how we was recording, and I got a phone call to go out and do a closing, and it was a real estate closing, and the guy kept telling me, well, they're real estate documents. I'm like, what kind of real estate documents? Because there's various types. I understand that what this real estate market, but what types are they? I'm offended when they, yeah. You see what I'm saying? So once I had to make sure that what he was saying, because he just kept saying real estate documents. And I'm like, what kind? And he was like property management ones. So I never heard anything from that perspective. But once I got there, I realized I saw what they was talking about. Okay, I understood it. But I had to ask him questions. And he was getting a little irritated with me because he like, I need this. And this was at 11:30 at night. Okay, 11:30 at night, and I was like, ah, come on, man. I need to know because I want to make sure I'm not doing something illegal. Once I got there, did my thing, he was very appreciative and he complimented me on my thoroughness. He said, "Man, you're very thorough. I appreciate that." I said, "All right, cool. So we good." Ask questions and you can always walk away. You can always walk away. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, something ain't right. You can walk away. It's that simple. And if you figure it out, at any time you can walk away, you figure it out. Because see, that's where you say, okay, I'll make sure I do the deed last. Because that deed don't get done, and you find out, yeah, or they start sticking the deed first. Because let's be real, they get you to do the deed, and then you back out. It's no big deal. They can go find another notary to do the rest of it. Because who said that it has to be the same notary? It's notarized. You did the deed, and somebody else did the other affidavits. Long as it's notarized, that's all that counts. And then they submit it to the courthouse. The courthouse ain't gonna sit there. Why there's five different notaries? I mean, if smart ones would, but they may not. So if you have to, you walk away. And that's all I did Monday. I was like, okay, y'all ain't doing this right. And I know it's waste. And then me walking away made them do things right. Because I've always said this. If you've been listening to my channel, notaries are the most important, but the least powerful. And you are an important entity in all of this. I guess that's the right word. You are very important in this transaction. And without the notary signing off on this, it don't get done. So I need you to be all honest and truthful to me. And if you're sitting here lying to me and I figure that out, then I'm bouncing. And if you want to sit here and try to, make me look bad on Google and this, that, and the other, then see, I'm the type I go to war with you. I know a lot of y'all don't want to do that. Y'all like, oh no, I'm gonna do this because if I say something, if that do that, then they're gonna say something on my Google My Business, and then next thing you know, that's gonna make me look bad. I'm gonna go from 5 stars down to 2.5 stars, and da 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 da. So you're worried about that socials aspect of it. Be more concerned about the integrity part of it. Okay, that's what you need to be concerned about. All right, and it says, I dislike when borrowers ask you to notarize the other miscellaneous documents for free. Um, you just tell them there's a fee to it. I did a signing. Guy, I did a signing and he asked me it was some divorce papers. It was only one signature. And we did the real estate transaction part. And he said, "Do you mind doing this?" And he paid me. I said, "Yeah, $5." Here's how you get them. When the moment they ask you, can you notarize any other documents? And you say, "Yeah, I can notarize it," and you state the fee. Not don't say they say, "Well, can I have this other document? Are you able to notarize it?" Yes. When you can say, "What is it?" "Oh, yeah, I can do that, and this is the fee for that." You tell them straight up. Let the fee come right out of your mouth. As soon as they say, "I have this other document I need to sign it in front of a notary." "Oh, that's no problem. It's $5 or $10, whatever." How many signatures you need on there notarized? "Well, I need 15 signatures notarized." "Okay, well, it'll be $5 per stamp or whatever your state says." Just tell them. Now at that point, either they get you or they don't. Or they go to UPS. But we can make the mistake of just saying it and thinking that they automatically will be willing to pay us. But the moment they ask you, you tell them your state mandated fee. You ain't got to charge a travel fee because you're already there. I wouldn't personally, I wouldn't, but you do what you need to do or feel you should do. But I would just say, "Here's my fee," and that's all I told the guy. He said, "Can you do it?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, "With just one, yeah, it's just $5." And boom, he was like, "Okay." Now, because see, you came to me, so are you going to say never mind? I'm not forcing anybody. Unlike other people, like, "Well, I'm here, so you have no choice but to pay me $300 for this one signature." No, I'm just saying you came to me. And I understand what they're trying to say. You came to me and here's the fee. So you gonna say, well, never mind. Okay, fine. Because if you can't pay five, you most definitely ain't gonna pay 300. And think about it. People will have more against you if you force them to pay them a higher fee than what you really should be paying them. So I stay away from that. I don't force anybody to pay me more than what they legally should be paying, in my opinion, according to my state laws. Okay. So the bottom line is this: your strategy that you develop has to work for you. It's not about what works for other people. Um, and one of the other things I wanted to bring up, I was going to do a separate video, but I'll talk about it here real quick before I close out, is evaluating your business. That's one of the things that a lot of people fail to do. When you evaluate your business, you will know what you need to have in your business. A lot of people don't evaluate your business. I got printer here, another printer. I got two more over here in my closet because I see what I need to have in my business. I evaluated my business, looked at the path in which I wanted to go, and said, in order for me to get to where I need to go, I need to have this. I got two scanners. I have all the stuff that I need. I got paper, all of that. Matter of fact, I got to order some more paper. John, I think about it. Got to order some more paper. I got my folders. I got two. I got my I use the manila folders to put my stuff in. And the reason why I say that, you have to learn to evaluate your business, because when you first come in, you're being told by a lot of people, "Oh, I don't get folders. I just get binder clips and rubber bands." Well, depending on how big those documents are, those rubber bands, they can rip the edges of the paper and all of that. They can, the binder clips, the stuff don't press down hard enough and they can just pop off. It looks much more professional for me to put the stuff in a folder. Sorry about all the glare, but I just put it in a folder. It looks much more professional by me putting it in a folder with the person's name on it. You don't need a plastic folder and all of that kind of stuff. Just a regular manila folder, much more cost effective and all of that. That's what I do. But I evaluated my business and I looked at where did I want to go with my business and all of that. Now, if in your business you're more concerned about the aesthetics and how it looking fancy, then yes, you're going to sit here and buy $5 pens. You're going to buy, $4 folders and all of that kind of stuff. And then when times get tough, you're going to be trying to figure out where your money's going at, and it's going into all of this over expensive stuff. Um, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But you have to evaluate your business, because as you evaluate your business and you listen to other people, because nobody's fooling me. A lot of y'all, I know a lot of people listen to me, but y'all also listen to all these other folk, and you get confused behind what Griff is saying this and those other people saying that. And it can be very, very confusing and everything and all of that. So if you evaluate your business and you listen to other people, like, okay, well, you're saying that. So you're a notary, I'm a notary, and we're going in the same direction of being notary signing agents, doing notarial work, all of that, with the general notary, loan closings, all of that. But you see your business in a particular light and you say, I want to do this also. Or this is where I see myself in my business, that I see I can do this long term, full time. So I need to get established and set up for that. So here's what I believe I need to do for myself in my business in order to meet that goal and be ready as I go down that particular path. Another person is like, I'm just staying on this path. I'm not going to, I'm just temporary until I find a new job or I find something else. But this is the person who's telling you everything that you should be doing. Oh, well, in your business, you don't need a dual tray printer. You just need a single tray printer. That's what they told me. And I listened to that. I listened to that advice, and I was like, that's the worst thing that somebody could ever told me. It's more efficient for me to have a dual tray printer. Oh, you only need one printer. I listened to that. Mm-mm. Two printers. Bam. You don't need to have two scanners. I got to a lot of stuff that people told me I didn't need to have when I evaluated what they said I didn't need to have as compared to what I want to do with my business and where do I need to go with my business. I found that it was best for me to not listen to them and getting your pens from the bank. hmm That's why they're trying to get you to do them closings on the cheap because they're like, you costing us all this money. We're taking all our pens. See, she running around with these kind of pens from the bank. No, I didn't get that from the bank. But I like that lady. And stuff. Say you have to block out the noise because a lot of it is going on. Yeah, there's a lot of noise going on. A lot of noise going on. And when I evaluated the business and I was willing to be grown enough and mature enough to say, I'm gonna stand on my own and do this here. It's nice to be involved with people and hear stuff what other people are saying, but I've done so much in my life without groups of people telling me what to do. Why can't I do this? What makes being a notary so difficult that I have to have this conglomerate of human beings around me to be successful? And I understand that on one end, there's nothing wrong with having that conglomerate, but what is the conglomerate saying? What are they really saying? Because when I listen to what they're saying as compared to what I should be doing or what really business should be doing, it's not making sense. You get what I'm saying? It's not really making sense. So, and to me, that's what I was going through. And I said, I got to just stand on my own and do what I need to do for me. So once I made my mind up to do it that way, I was good. I was really good, really, really good to go. And I was looking for something. Oh, there it is. I was looking for something, and yeah, I found it. Once I realized that, I said, let me move forward into what I know I need to do, and let me believe in myself and take a chance on myself. Because at the end of the day, I still got to do it. Now, if the information that people are sharing with me is something that's good, something that is viable, something that I can do, then I'll do it and everything. Hold on one second, y'all, because my sinus has been starting to act well, which is good. I had took some stuff, so hold on. Let me put this up. Watch this for a second. All right. Had to get the nose straight there. Sorry about that, y'all. But I had to get the nose straight. But yeah, you decide, yeah, I don't have a problem with taking my pens and everything. That's fine. Because I use the G2 gel pens and they're inexpensive enough. So I don't have a problem with that. It always seems like the older ladies like the pens. And oh, I like this pen. Can I keep? Yes, ma'am, you can keep it. So I do that. I don't have a problem. And it's a good relationship thing. That's a connection thing there. And then they called, hey, can you notarize something? No problem. I'll take care of your grandbabies for you. But you have to evaluate your business because when you evaluate your business to see where it's at and where you want it to go, what it can be and what it shouldn't be, when you listen to people and hear people coming to you with all of this other stuff, you'll be able to say whether or not that fits. The biggest problem, and not a lot of people are willing to admit this, a lot of problems that we're having as business owners of any sort of business is that we haven't done a true evaluation of our business and really set any goals and strategies and systems in place to get from point A to point B. So what we're doing is listening, and if we hear somebody say something that we think could fit us, then okay, I'll do that. But you're not really figuring it out for yourself. You're just listening to somebody tell you this is what they do, and you're like, okay, well, I'll just do that. But you're not taking into account of there's age difference because the mindset is different, between younger people and older people, between men and women, between the different areas you live, being up north versus down south. And let's just say you're down south, but you have a northern mentality, and vice versa, or Midwest. So depending on your work ethic, all of this kind of stuff, your family, but there's a lot that you have to take into account. And you hear somebody saying, "Yeah, I'm on the grindstone, I do this." Or you have somebody say, "Well, I just got everybody doing stuff for me." And what they're telling you in all is like, that's not really me. But you're implementing something in your business that's really not you. That's why I'm constantly looking at, okay, evaluating my business and thinking about, I'm like, okay. And I listen and I hear what people are saying. And then I say, okay, well, can I add this? What would it take? So if I add this in, can I add it in? Okay, that's going to cost me. That's going to, and sometimes you just got to stand fast where you at for a while and then move up a little bit. And you stand fast there. And then you move up a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. See, I had to get my hands straight. And you because sometimes we're here and then it's like boom, we're trying to jump up there, but we're not ready to handle it. So you have to evaluate your business, and in that evaluation, it's also evaluating yourself because you are the business. You have to evaluate, like, okay, well, here's where I'm at, and here's what I'm about, and this is what I'm willing to do, and here's my risk tolerance. See, that's what I say. If you listen to my videos, I got videos on multiple talking about multiple streams of income, your risk tolerance. Look into my different playlists that I have, and you'll see. I talk about that. What is your risk tolerance? Because if your risk tolerance isn't that, to where you can handle taking that kind of chance, then it's nothing wrong with hearing what people saying. The problem comes in you implementing what people are telling you, and you really don't know whether or not that's you. Girl, you need to go on over there. Ah, that ain't me. You need to go hang out here. They telling you to do stuff that clearly isn't you. And it's nothing wrong with that because here's the thing. It's okay to tell these people no that you don't want to spend money with them for their whatever they're offering. Because guess what? It ain't like they're not going to take your money 6 months down the road. So let's just because there's times where I was offered different things, business opportunities and strategies, and hey, take this and take that. And they're like, if you don't take it now, the cost is going to go up. Okay, the cost may go up, but if what you have to offer is really something that's going to benefit me and move me to the next level, it really doesn't matter what it costs because it'll be worth it, right? Uh, Yeah, okay then. So right now I'm not in a position to do it either financially or mentally because I just don't see how it's beneficial to me. So I'm gonna leave this alone and y'all have a good day and I'll get back with you if I see that I need to do this. But right now, no, I'm not buying it right now. I'm not doing that right now. I'm not spending it. And I learned this from a preacher. He said, you got to know, you got to have, he said, I've learned the art of saying no. He said, I think his name was Sammy Holloway, pastor named Sammy Holloway. Don't know if he's still alive or not, but I heard him say that one time at a conference I went to, and he said, "You got to know how to say no. No matter what they're offering you, you got to be able to say no." And the problem is, many of us are afraid to say no, and then you get up and caught up in the stuff. And this happened to me. I'm not immune to it. It happened to me, and even still, it's like, oh man, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Because the first thing I ask myself, do I have the time to do it? Is what they're offering good? Yes. Is it actually doable? Yes. But do I have the time to commit to it or will it pull me away? So just like a lot of people was asking me about getting into different other business things, because in this notary business, I found people will go and become a notary just so they can get into the mix of things and look out and look for people. Hey, we got this over here and I got this over there, and I'm partnering with this person. You can make money this that way. Okay, but if I do this, how much time is that going to take? Okay, that's going to take too much time for what I'm trying to do here. But you can get tenfold money. Okay, but what about the money over here? So that means you really didn't care about being a notary. You just became a notary so you could try to hook up with somebody who you thought was maybe influential or was doing good, and then take my notary money and put it into this thing over here that y'all got. Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. So you got to be willing to say no, but they make you afraid of missing out. That's what they call the fear, FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. Meaning you joined this notary business because of that. You had a fear of missing out on $10,000 a month. My question is this: put a number two in the chat if you came in. Now, but that's up to you. It's up to you if you want to do it or not. But put a number two in the chat if you hopped in here into this notary business because you thought there was the ability to make $10,000 a month and you made $10,000 a month for 6 months. Now, of course, somebody could lie and say, but be honest, if that's up to you if you do or not. But the point is, you hopped in this business because somebody told you you can make this money. Did you make the right commitment to make that money, or did you say nah and you thought it was just going to happen and just fall in your lap? I joined the business because I really like, okay, I want to be a notary because I want to help people. That's honestly why I did it. Then I found out about all this other stuff, and I was like, oh, but I knew enough from my own other business experiences that it's going to take some effort to pull in 10 G's a month. And do I have the commitment and the ability to make that happen? And when I realized that at that point in time I didn't, I was like, what can I make happen? And that's what I've done. I realized I can make six happen. Okay, let me go for it. I think the most I've done in a month from notary is about seven. And the question then becomes, can you be happy with that? Or will you feel like a failure? Can you be happy with the level of success that you've obtained? Or will you feel like a failure? I'm happy with the level of success I've obtained because it's my success, it's not somebody else's. There's too many people out here in this notary world that's trying to attach themselves to your success, trying to say how they got you to where you're at and take all the credit for it, but you're really the one doing the hard work. The only thing they did was had you pay them for a $500 course, and now they're saying because you're making money, look at look how good I am because of what they did. I didn't want somebody to be attaching themselves to me like that. Okay. You ain't going to attach yourself to me and be taking credit for the hard work that I'm doing. Okay. Yes, that's nice. You have a course, and I'm not talking about my man Bill. That's not him. So don't go running to Bill. Say, hey, Bill, you ripped off. No, I'm not talking about Bill Soroka or Laura Brewer. Those aren't those people. They're not like that whatsoever. None of that crew is like that. But there's other people out here that's like that. They want your, they want you to brag about what you're doing so they get more shine. They want you to brag about what you're doing so they can get more shine. They want you to brag about what you're doing so they can get more shine. And when I come across people like that, I pull away from them. I don't have nothing to do with them, and I don't have anything to do with the people who are with them. I pull away from that. Okay, babe. Okay, so yeah, the art of saying no. You have to learn how to say no. My wife is good at it. I'm not. I have I'm good at the art of let me see what else. Let me hear a little bit more. Now I'm at the point of I know what you're about. I got it. And that comes from experience. And that's part of the reason why I do what I do on yeah, she just telling me she was going to bed. That's I'm gonna be up because I took a nap today. So I'm like, whoo, I'm wired now. I can go get some ice cream. She's going to bed. Get my ice cream. But don't y'all go telling on me. So, but the thing is, that's why I do my YouTube channel. And I talk a lot of smack on here, but it's truth. And I'm trying to help people out because there are people out here who want to take advantage of you and take you for everything you got. And you can't really keep talking about you telling. You talking about you telling. And you really can't, let's just be real. A lot of people out there, when you talk about responsibility of sharing information, they put the blame on us. They say you are responsible for making sure you don't get screwed over. Because a lot of these folk out here want to train, they want to teach, they want to educate people, and they and they will say over and over again. I've heard this, so I'm not talking about any one particular person who may have said this to me recently, but this is what I've heard for the last really 3 years. Well, you got people who just want to be handheld and this, that, and the other. And you tell them stuff, and then they just want you to hold their hands and dot, dot, dot. Okay, so that means you're not a hands-on person when it comes to education and teaching. And that person you're dealing with needs that. And that's not you. But that's a part of it. There are people who need to have their handheld. There are people who need some tough love. There's some people who need for you to, do a combination. The bottom line is, if you're going to educate and train somebody, there's some responsibility that you have to take in making sure that they know and understand. And yes, if they get to a point where they're just like too needy or whatever, I understand cutting them off. But you got to make sure you're telling them truth as a trainer. If you're not willing to tell them truth as a trainer, and you just want to say stuff, and then then it's up to them to figure out whether it's good, and you put it all on them, then why even train them? Why even try to help them out? Just, hey, just go figure it out on your own. I respect the person that say, just go figure it out on your own, rather than you got me paying you money for information. And then when I ask for more clarity of it, you're telling me that's the extent of what I gave you in these 10 minutes or 15, whatever. That's it. That's not good. I mean, uh-uh. So my goal is to help you to understand the pattern of bad behavior, to make better decisions for yourself, because it's clear that a lot of these trainers, they're gonna do what they do. And it burns me up that basically what a lot of people are saying, if you really about to dime me out. See, she turned the phone off, so she ain't gonna see it until the morning. But Pentel, I'm gonna have to check those out. I'm gonna have to check those pins out. I will. I'm gonna check those out. Here's what I'm learning. This is what I'm learning, and this is about life. Basically, people are saying, accept the fact that you're going to get screwed over. Accept the fact that people are out here going to do you wrong. That's just the way it is. But then on the other end, we get mad at being done wrong. So you're telling me I need to accept the fact that there's just crooked people out here and there's nothing we can do about it. So then why are we fighting so hard for peace and tranquility and let's all get along this, when we keep saying people out here trying to screw folk over and nobody's willing to stop them? Nobody's willing to fix the problem. The problem is people are doing things wrong and there's nothing we're going to do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Like I said in my Instagram post today, you want to sit here and get mad at the people who took an oath to do things right by you, your politicians, your lawyers, your doctors with the Hippocratic oath, your police officers, and all that. You get upset with them when they do you wrong because they took an oath to do things right. But you, as a notary who took an oath to do things right, you're screwing people over yourself. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. So you're doing things for us. You're training and education that's screwing people over, that's taking advantage of them. You're doing things wrong as a notary to make people pay you more money, this, that, and the other. But yet you'll be the first one hopping at some political rally or some class action suit saying these doctors or these people who took an oath to do right by me are doing me wrong, and that's not fair. Well, it's not fair that you're doing people wrong. It's not fair that you're doing people dirty. So you're doing people dirty, but you don't want people to do you dirty. That's the part that's what I have a problem with. And there's people who see this happening in all industries, and nobody wants to do anything until there's a problem. I mean, we just got to be careful about how I say this for YouTube censorship. Y'all heard about the incident here in Newport News, Virginia, with the 6-year-old with the bang bang at the teacher. And then when you dig deeper into this, you find out that this was a problem that a lot of people didn't want to address. That this there was issues with this kid. There was issues with the way that they dealt with things. And this is just for informational purposes only. They just and they come to find out that there were some issues that nobody wanted to deal with that led to this possibly happen that could have been the cause of this happening. And what I keep seeing over and over again is that people don't want to do anything until it touches them. When it touches them, when it hits them, when it hurts them, when it hurts their loved one, now we want to do something. But we don't want to say anything because we're worried about offending people. We're worried about being sued because I see that's being done and I know that's wrong, but I don't want to say anything because I want to stay in my social circles with these people because I'm really a gossip at heart. I want to stay in the know. And even if I'm really not a gossip, I'm just nosy. So I may not go around saying anything about what I heard, but I just want to know. I just want to be in there. And sometimes I think people use the term, but I'm just trying to get a nugget. No, you're just trying to get some gossip. And I'm just being trying to be funny. So please, if you're offended, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just saying when you really look at yourself as to why you allow the crud to go on and you continue to support the crud, you continue to be a part of it, and you continue to, and you just you in clubhouse rooms and you hear people saying stuff that is 1,000% wrong, but you don't even say anything back. Why? And now you got people confused about what they're like, okay, well, I thought it was this, and now you're saying I'm confused and nobody won't say anything. Okay, well, thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your view. And that matters, right? I mean, and that's why sometimes I have to stay off of Clubhouse because I hear people make statements that are true to them, but not necessarily true for everybody else. And the problem is, as I've said all along from day one, I've been on YouTube, they don't give proper disclaimers. So here's my situation, and this is why I do what I do. They don't say it that way. They say, this is what you should do as a notary. Okay. Is that what you're saying is applicable for every notary in all states? Well, no, not really. It's this is just what I do. Okay, well, why didn't you lead off with that? Because what happens is you say it and you know it's not applicable to everybody, but it makes you seem like you're the smartest one in the room. It makes it seem like you got something. Again, that that status strategy. I have a strategy of looking like I'm together and I got my stuff here, here, and here, which means you'll want to come pay me for my knowledge and information. But the knowledge and information that I'm giving you has nothing to do with you, will not do anything for you, will not help you in your business because it's not applicable in your business. But you paid me and I made me some money and I didn't have to do a signing this weekend. That's really what it boils down to, in my opinion, with some of these people. Now, this ain't the kind of talk that a lot of people like to listen to, but in my to me, this is what I'm seeing is going on. And if I'm wrong, then please correct me. Please correct me. I mean, even if you're seeing this on a replay, hit me, show me where I'm wrong at. And I say a lot of these things because I'm trying to get to the truth of the matter. What a lot of y'all don't realize, there are people who contact me and Q and Matherin and other notaries out here about this stuff. And they're like, I'm confused. I don't know. I thought I could do this. I thought I could do that. I'm out here and I'm being told that I can do Ron and I can't even do Ron. And I got people in states that not even Ron approved teaching me how to do Ron. And I'm like, so how is it that I'm going to go back to them for help when they're not even qualified? Well, it's just a money grab. They're just trying to make money. They're trying, and I understand that. And I'm not saying they can't do it, but I'm just saying you need to realize they're teaching you something that they have no clue about, that they can't even do themselves, but you're going to listen to them. Well, they brought in some people who are teaching that. Okay, they brought in people, but again, it's still just they brought in people who are teaching you how to do something, but they're still getting paid somehow, some way. They're getting something out of teaching you something that they can't even do. So I can't do it, but I get somebody else to do it. And then maybe you'll be happy that I did it and you'll just swing back around and hit me up and pay me for the stuff that I can do. You get what I'm saying? There's an end around that people all this to get your money. It's all about getting your money. And one of the things that I heard Lawrence Taylor, the great football player, say, he said, the moment you get money, there's going to always be somebody there to extract it from you. Lawrence Taylor said in an interview years ago, and I wish I could find it. The moment you make money, there's going to always be somebody there to extract it from you, to take it from you. There's going to always be somebody to try to find a way to take the money that you've earned away from you. They haven't earned it, but they want your money. And they're going to do whatever they can to take that money from you. And that's what you have to be mindful of. So when people are offering you these courses, offering you these meetups, offering you these conferences, is it really something that's going to benefit you in your business? Are you the kind of person that will go to a conference, go to a meetup, listen to good information if there's good information to be given there? And will you go execute it and apply it into your business? If you're not, you just wasted money. If you know you're lazy, if you know you're undisciplined, if you know you don't have the desire or the will or the get up and go to go implement what you just heard, then why did you go there? Because guess what? You heard you're not going to do it. So it's worthless. It's you was in the know, you met some people, but you're not doing anything with it. That's really what it boils down to. Excuse me. When other notaries contact me, I always let them know correct. Got to follow state laws. And the one thing I would say is that I am very happy to see more notaries talking about that because when I first got on YouTube, nobody was talking about that. But due to the fact that there have been so many mistakes being done by notaries, these notary trainers and these so-called up and coming trainers, they realize that we better start dealing with that. We need to start addressing that. I don't think they're still addressing it to the level that they should, but I'm happy that they are attempting. They're attempting to do that, and that is very, very good to see. Very, very good to see. So yes, I was supposed to have stopped 37 minutes ago, but like I said, y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. So I appreciate all the questions and stuff. I've been wanting to hop on here and do a live. I wanted to do Fritter Friday, but I had 6 signings yesterday. Supposed to have been 7, and then one of them got canceled at the last minute. So I've been racking them up. I'm just doing everything I can. And this is what it's all about for me. This is what it's all about. And that's why I had to take a nap today, which now will be probably most definitely be up till about 2 in the morning. And all of that might be 3 after that ice cream. But this is what I knew that I would have to do in order to be successful in this business. And I was willing to make that sacrifice, more than willing to do what I had to do to take care of my family, to provide for them. Um, okay, you just got commission. Um, as always, feel free um to hit me up if you got any questions. Also, look at my notary basic playlist. Um, hold on, let me pull that up for you real quick. I don't know why they don't put that at the front. And hold on one second, young lady. I wish they make this stuff easier to find. Ah, here it is. Hold on one second. All right. So, oops. wrong one. I gotta present. Oh, okay. Oh, I had the wrong one selected. Ah, there it is. All right. So, um, give y'all the link to this. Check out my Notary Basic playlist. That's a good place to start. And check out the other playlists that I have in there. And if it's applicable, cool. If it's not, but take a listen, to these videos. Some of them are from a while ago, but it's real good information. Um, thank you, thank you, Miss Vanetta. But I think I got over 700 videos. Um, but just take a listen to the videos that I have out here. I mean, this one here got 108 different videos in there. So, you know, take a listen to them. I think you'll like them. Um, then, yeah, so just take a listen to the videos that I got, and I think you'll be okay. I'm trying to find this other one. This other one. Let me get the link for that. Um, Hold on one second, and let me show y'all this. I think, yeah. And then here's the other one of my favorite ones, business mindset one. Take a, hop on that. And then there's other playlists that I have. All you got to do is just click on the name of my channel, and it'll take you to my homepage, and then you'll see playlists, and just go through and look at those playlists, and all of that. And this one is a good one, the developing business mindset. That's a real good one. One of the times I threw a suit on and all that good stuff. Took myself out. So other than that, that's all I got. Any other questions? Thank you there. Yeah, that's my lady out there in Vegas. Um, and thanks for hitting the like button. But yeah, so if y'all got any questions, feel free to comment. Um, I do this to help people. It's not about making money for me. I do all of this to help people. I have really nothing to sell anybody. Um, I just know people need help, and I'm the type of person that's willing to help you out. You know, and everything. So the Notaries Unsealed podcast, that is always on and popping on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, some are everywhere. I was out last week, but I'll be back this week. So we're gonna have some fun. And cute, I'm talking about them 15,000 count sheets. Yeah, yeah, my sheets are nice. I like the sheets. Well, my wife, she gets them, so we get the nice, um, can't be scratching your skin and feel like sandpaper sheets and stuff. So she handles all of that and everything. So we sleep good on our sheets and stuff, and I love them. I love them. So I got to give my wife credit for that. But let me close out with the business strategy once again, just to make sure everybody's clear on this. This pops up. Do, 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 do. And I just want y'all to understand my strategy. With the oops. Okay, where's my page at? Okay. Okay. All right. They did something different. All right. So again, my business strategy is simply this. In the first half half of the month, the first through the 15th, I'm trying to pull in as much money as I can. So whatever my dollar monthly amount goal is for my business, I'm trying to pull in more than 50% of that in the first part of the month. So my normal goal is $6,000. Ideally, I want to pull in 4,000. If I can, great. If I can't, it's okay. But at least I tried. And you can only do what's offered out there, whether you're working direct or with a signing service. So as you see here, zoom that in. So from November in 2022, I did 32 signings for 2632, and then in the last half of the month, did 28 signings for 2540. Decent. It's not six, but it's decent. In December, 2650 for 32 signings. Now, as a side note, what that tells you is that somewhere along the line, there was a signing or two that was a little bit more than what they were the month before. Then 21 signings for 1945 for the last half. Not 4 grand, but it is what it is. Okay. In January, started off real slow, in my opinion. Only 19 signings for the first 15 days at 1800. And then 38 signings at the last half of the month for 2715. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I would love this in the last part of February. I would love that for the last part of February. If I could get that last part of February, man, that would be great. But for the first part of February, I did 39 signings for 4,090. So my goal is at least 4 grand a month, or 4 grand for the first 15 days. And then um at the end part of the month, there are a lot of orders that's come through. And see, and I forgot to say this earlier, glad y'all hung around for this. One of the issues that I've seen with waiting to the end of the month for doing trying to do all of your closings at the end of the month is that there's so many orders that's coming in at the end of the month, pretty much from like the 20th to the 27th to 28th. Okay, I get to your question in just a second. The issue is that you could have 8 signings come up in a day, but they're all for the same time period. So there's all these orders coming in the last half of the month. They're trying to close them, but they're all for the same time period. And then that means you effectively can only do two, maybe three. So if, let's just say, from two in the afternoon to six, and if you want a 2 hour window in between each signing, so there's one that comes in at two, but then so there's one at two, then you got one at three. Well, it's gonna be hard. That might be hard to do that two and then a three. But then while you debating whether you should take that 3 o'clock, you're doing 2 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then a 2:30 comes in. You know you can't do the 2:30. Then you have a 3:30 that comes in. You might be able to do the 2 o'clock and the 3:30. So that's two signings you got. But then you got 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5:30. So you're like 3:30. I can't do four and I can't do 4:30. I can probably do five. And then you got a six. So you see what I'm saying? So it's gonna be hard for you. You take all of that, and then that means, okay, are you actually able to make $4,000 in that last couple of days? It can be difficult because you got so many coming in. And then if the distance between them are spread out, that makes it even harder, makes it much harder. So I found if I can do as much as I can when it's a little slower in the beginning part of the month, it makes it easier for me to sort of pick and choose at the end part, because now I'm sitting here like, okay, well, I done made 4 grand. I need six. And then I'm sitting here like, okay, so in the amount of these days here, I need 2 grand. So now I can sort of be a little more picky, not picky, but I can pick and choose a little bit more cautiously for those orders that's coming in and not get jammed up and make my 2 grand. You see what I'm saying? So you're looking at the last part of the month, you're talking about, let's just say, hold on, let me do some math here real quick. So you talking about 2000 you need, you talking about 285 in 7 days, 285 a day in 7 days. That's doable if you got some orders coming in. So that means if you see you order for, 2 orders for 135 that comes in, that's 270. You're not that far off. You see what I'm saying? You're not that far off. So you're not killing yourself at the end of the month trying to make up for what you didn't do at the beginning of the month. Now, if your life is such that you couldn't do all that in the beginning of the month, that's understandable. But for me, that's how I have to work it for me. Okay. You figure out how much you want to make. So this is where, so I got 270, and let's just say 270. So that's only you know, it's only $15 away from my 285. And a $30 order comes in. I'm gonna take it because now I just made my 285. It's about my goal. Well, I ain't doing that for another $30. Okay, but I need 285 a day. And I have an opportunity to make 285 because if I do 285, which would be in this case, it would be what? It would be 300. So I'm $15 ahead of what I need for the next day. And if let's just say I do 270 today, and then I get that that last I made 300. Well, I get 270 tomorrow. Well, in those 2 days, I just average 285 each day. Play the numbers, people. Play the numbers. Stop all of this other stuff that they're talking about. So now, this young lady or young man, young lady, what are some of the examples of these signings? These signings could be anything: purchase, sales, HELOCs, reverse mortgage, loan applications. It can be any of those. Because, see, another thing that people get caught up on is the type of signing. I'm caught up on the dollar amount because at the end of the day, no matter whether it's a purchase, sale, HELOC, reverse mortgage, loan modification, debt settlement, you still got to notarize the same. The notarization requirement is the same, regardless of the type of document. So you got people tripping over, not saying you, because you're just starting. And I know you're asking because you you're asking, sorry about that. You're asking because you probably heard people talk about these different types of signings. It really doesn't matter because they're hiring you not based on the type of signing, but they're hiring you because you're a notary and you can notarize. They're assigning like today. How many? I can't. It probably was barely 20 pages. 20 pages. Maybe 12 of them needed notarizations, but I made just under two. Two. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. All this talking, I told you my throat be getting dry. I did, so the package was so thin, I mean, barely 20 pages, if that, if 20 pages. So, and that was a sale. And then you got purchases. Then you got, I mean, the type really doesn't matter because you're a notary. Because, I mean, at one point I did get a little caught up in that. But then as I started doing them, I'm like, does it really matter what the type is? And I know notaries have sat there and because they didn't understand the type of loan package that was coming to them, they turned the work down. I'm not doing it because I don't know what that is. Well, the only way you're going to know what it is to do what? Accept the order. At worst, you're getting paid. At worst, you're getting paid to do this thing. And there have been times where I've taken $60 orders and it was only 16 pages. 16 pages, $60, five notarizations. Where's the issue with that? Get what I'm saying? That's what you have to do. Where's the issue with that? Well, this is only I'm talking the money that I'm making is coming from the loan closings. Okay. The loan closings. Um, if you are doing, and that's why I said you got to look at the videos that I have out there. Um, if you're talking about the non loan closing work, that if you're talking about doing the and this is what a lot of people are like, well, how can I make that kind of money? What you negotiate between you and a business entity, say a law firm that needs estate planning documents done, they typically will pay you a flat fee, and it could be it could be $150, could be $200, could be $300, depends on them and your level of experience, or your really not even so much always experience, but your knowledge of notarial law to do things right. Um, and I will say, and I will type this in here. Um, this here, Coach Me Laura, that is Laura Brewer. She has a course on estate planning or how to market yourself for that and understanding estate planning so you can do that kind of stuff. I haven't taken it yet. I need to. That's one of my things that I want to do. I just got to find time to do it. But there's tons of different ways to go out here and make money doing this. Okay. Me, I work on volume. I just will go out here, work, do what I got to do. It's not about trying to get the most money for the least amount of effort. There are some people that's like that, and there are times where I make a good little bit of change, and my level of effort is very minimal. But that's not my goal. That I want to do 15 signings a month and make $7,000. If somebody can make that happen, then the question is, can you do that consistently in good times and bad times? And if you can, great for you. But then can that be translated into every area in the country for every notary? And the answer is, in my opinion, no, it can't, because each area is different. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make it happen in your area. What you can do, you got to learn your area, figure it out, and then see what you can make happen. But you're only charging $10 in your state. Okay, then that means you're going to have to market yourself and find ways to market yourself to other interests and other entities. However, don't forget about the fact that people can tip you. So if you're doing a closing, I mean, not a closing, you're doing any, let's say a will or a power of attorney, you can only charge $10 per each time you stamp, and you can charge a travel fee. Who said they won't tip you $100? People will do that. Does it matter whether you charge somebody $200 or whether you charge them $100, but they gave you $100 tip? Does it really matter? What matters is that you left there, one, with the fee that you said you can charge them, that you was going to charge them, and two, if they gave you a tip. As long as you're not leaving there with less than what you meant to charge them, then in my opinion, you good. So if you charge them $85, but they gave you another $15 or another $30 or 50, that's a win-win for you. That means they appreciate you. They like what you are doing, and they feel that you did them right, so they're willing to give you more. I did a power of attorney this past week, and it only was for my state laws. It only came out to $25, $5 for the stamp, and $20 travel fee. The lady paid me 50. I told her, I said, just 25. She said, here's a tip. Went out to the car counter. It was $50. I've had that happen. So, so does it really matter? Because this is where people get caught up. They're trying to charge two, three, $400 for every single thing they do. Oh, I ain't forgot the ice cream. But The issue is that sometimes there are people who will tip you, and I've said this many times. Don't charge so much that you take the ability for somebody to show gratitude to you away from them. You charge somebody $400. They might not even, and especially if you had to convince them, the moment you start getting into trying to talk somebody into paying the fee that you're charging, you're probably charging too much. You got to convince them that the fee for one or two signatures is $400, and you trying to convince them that it's okay to pay you $400 for two signatures that's being notarized. And you got to go back and forth and come up with examples and this, that, and the other to convince them that they should feel confident and comfortable paying you that. That should be a warning sign right there. Okay, that should be a warning sign. I charge, and the people are like, "That's fair," and then they tip me. So if I'm, and now I have a customer for life because I did them right. See, this is about you and that person. This isn't about you and what other people are doing. You and that person. Yeah, go to NC Notary Coach. She can also help you. So before you hit Laura up, go to NC Notary Coach. Belinda will help you, completely help you. Um, yeah, Belinda will help you. Go to NC Notary Coach. She will help you. She's a great person, great resource. I'm glad Q was in here because I was getting ready to type that in there to you. But it's about you. Remember, being a notary is about you serving your community. And Q talks about that all the time. It's about you serving your community. It was never meant for notaries to become millionaires. And most people who are very, very wealthy doing this notary stuff, they're not really doing it off of the notarial part. They're doing it because they're selling systems and processes to notaries. That's they're selling memberships, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the question becomes, if you say, well, I need to become 100,000aire or a millionaire doing this business, so now you want to create systems in place. The question is, when nobody wants to buy your system, how do you make money? Because all of us can't make these systems. Okay, so if you got me making a system, Mather making a system, Q making a system, and all these other people, so all of us got these systems in place. All of us got this stuff that we're trying to sell you and helping you become a notary, then you want to do the same of selling stuff to make people be a good notary. Who's doing the notary work? At some point in time, somebody gotta take this stamp and press it. Who's doing that? How many people are actually out there doing the notary work? I'm not saying you can't have something off on the side for its training and all that, but at some point in time, the people gotta go and make the money stamping the documents. And that's where a lot of the problem is, that nobody is really out there stamping documents. Everybody's worried about sitting at home, doing very little, and having all this passive income from people taking training courses that they put up there or stolen and put up on the internet. And that's it. And being an influencer. But when are you going to make money? And I'm not opposed to people doing training and all that. I'm just saying that the problem is that people, new notaries, they start seeing how much money's coming through the training notary system part of it, and they're like, "Well, I want to do that because I really don't feel like running back and forth. I don't like being in people's houses and being around these folk, and folk are creepy and they smelly and this and that and they cats and dogs. So I'm a train." So now you got 80% of who's out here in this notary world trying to train the 20%. And then the 20% is like, Okay, well, I want to train too. So who's actually doing the work? The reason why I did 39 signings in 15 days is because I'm willing to go out here and do the daggone work. I can't do 39 if I'm sitting here worrying about trying to constantly train people and come and if that's but that's some people's personality, that's their strength and I'm fine with that. I'm saying that can't be everybody. At some point in time, somebody's going to bring you a piece of paper and say, I need it notarized. Who's going to be there to notarize it? And no, we're not notarizing the paper, we're notarizing the signature on there. The question is, who's going to be there? There's money in that. And you can make good money doing that if you know what you're doing and doing it well. And what y'all don't realize, there are a lot of people, they just don't publicize it. They're making six figures being just a notary. And they're not worried about teaching anybody anything. You see what I'm saying? Right. Loan signing agents only exist in the notary world. Your official title is notary public or notary signing agent. So you got to get off of that. I'm a loan, all this here. You, I don't like it when people keep making this statement. And if and the people who make it, you want to get mad at me, that's fine. But y'all need to stop making this statement talking about you're more than a notary. You keep saying that and you're not defining what that means. What do you mean I'm more than a notary? Because if what you're saying when you say that, if it follows, if what comes behind you saying I'm more than a notary is some kind of loophole that you think you done found to prove that I can do stuff that I'm legally not allowed to do. In other words, you're reclassifying, trying to reclassify who I am as a notary so I can backdoor to make this extra money that I really shouldn't be doing. The question then becomes, how does my state look at that? Does my state look at me as more than a notary? If my state doesn't look at me as more than a notary, keep in mind who gave me the commission? My state. My state gave me the commission, not this man, not this woman who's teaching me that I'm more than a notary or telling me that I'm more than a notary, because you can't even teach me that because I'm not. I'm a notary. And I challenge anybody to prove to me legally for each state that I'm more than a notary. Because you keep saying that crap, but you ain't providing no daggone proof. And you need to stop. It's just that simple. And I'm tired of that. You need to stop telling these people, these brand new notaries coming in here, confusing them. Saying, well, I'm more than a notary. Then, okay, what does that mean? And nobody in 4 years have been able to tell me what that means. And at the closest they come with that crap. Well, I'm a loan signing agent. Well, daggone it, you can't be a loan signing agent unless you are what? A notary. And in my notary basic playlist that I put in the thing here, there's a video called LSA versus NSA, meaning loan signing agent versus notary signing agent. And it breaks the whole it breaks the whole thing down to difference between the two. Look at that video, and then from there, you tell me, are you really more than a notary? You can't do any of this without being a notary. That's the problem. And people are trying to find ways to reclassify who we are as what our state says in order to justify us charging exorbitant fees to the public. That's where the problem comes in at. Because you wouldn't like it if somebody said, hey, I know you're pregnant, young lady, and you're having a child, but we found a loophole that if we reclassify your job title, we can fire you if you take maternity leave. You would hate that. I know, sir, I know you're a disabled veteran, and under federal guidelines, we can't fire you, but we found this class on the internet that told us how we can reclassify you in order to take away that protection and we can fire you. So if you take another day off to go to the VA for disability stuff, we're gonna have to fire you. If you decide to have that baby during the work hours that you're supposed to be here and you don't come back, then we're going to fire you because we found a way to loophole it and change your classification. You got to be careful of that when people are trying to change the classification of what you really are as a notary, because now you have the responsibility of questioning them. What do you mean I'm more than a notary? Tell me, what do you mean by that? Give me the legal grounds behind it. How is it that I'm able to do something that my state says I'm not? And they're going to and they start hemming and hawing and making all these little cliche statements that sound good. Oh, I'm more than a notary. Swing, swing. Wow, I never knew. If you was more than a notary, don't you think your state would have told you that? Who are these people where do you where did you get this information from? Man, woman, out of all of it, you mean to tell me you're the only one that got the bright idea, the thing? They're more than a notary. Pay me $400 and I can tell you how you are more than. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. Because I was supposed to stop 30 some minutes ago. Now it's over. You see what I'm saying? All of this because, and let's be real, this comes from a lack of satisfaction. People aren't satisfied with the role of a notary and what the role of a notary and the finances, the money that a notary is supposed to be getting paid. They're not happy with it. They are truly not happy with it. And because they're not happy with it, they're trying to find loopholes and back doors and tunnels to get around it and make more. If you don't like the money that you can make in this notary world, then go find some other place else. But rather than do that, they're trying to scam the system. They're trying to torque the system. They're trying to skew the system to where they're sucking money out of notaries. And they're making all this money trying to tell you you're more than what you are. And then you go try to execute more than what you are, and you find out you just lost your commission. A lot of this stuff is because the people aren't satisfied with what being a notary is really about. I thought I could make more. I thought it was more than this. I thought. And because you're not happy with the reality of being a notary, now you got to find some kind of way to scam people. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Because when you really look at it, some of the people who are not happy with what they making as a notary, they came up with some great things that help notaries out. Makes sense. I'm cool with it. But there's others that are just coming. They, they're just digging, pulling out stuff and saying, hey, you're more than a notary. You can make this money. You can make that money. We got this class. We got that class. Well, what does my state say? Well, that ain't on me to figure that out. That's on you. Okay, well, based off of what my state says, I can't. Are you really going to listen to your state? Okay, wait a minute. You just told me to find out from my state whether or not I can even legally do this. And I tell you that I can. And then you tell me, are you really going to listen to your state? See, that's the problem. The state, they're behind on the times and they're trying to hold you down and keep you from making money. Are they really? Yeah. And that's why you need to take my course so I can show you how to get around that system and make the money that you deserve. I mean, unless you're okay with making money like that. I mean, if you feel that's what your time is worth, you feel that I mean, if that's what you think of yourself, then as I said in the video about you being scared, who made you scared? The scammer always make you feel bad about where you're at. Who you are and where you're at in this life is not good enough, and you should feel terrible about the fact. that you aren't where I'm at. If you're running around with people, coming across people that's like that, you need to be careful. In order for them to succeed, they got to make you feel bad. To make you feel bad is their goal. And when you feel bad, th- then you'll pay them a whole buttload of money so that you won't feel bad. You're not necessarily paying them money so you can be successful. You're paying them money so they can make you feel good. Oh, I can feel better about myself. Well, to be honest, I really wasn't feeling bad about myself before I met you behind. I was feeling pretty good about myself. You told me who I am and what I'm doing and what my goals aren't good enough. Well, who are they not good enough for? Well, they're not good enough to be in your circle. They're not good enough to be around you. It doesn't make you look good. Okay, then I'm out. I'm gonna leave you alone. That's why I roll with very few people because everybody's trying. Well, I won't say everybody. A lot of people are trying to get clout off of you and your success. And I know, and because of the stuff I talk about and the way I am and the way I come across, there's not a lot of people that I mean they cool with me, but they like, okay, we ain't gonna let people know that we cool with Griff. We cool with Griff. I got it. Yeah, we cool with you, Griff, but we not gonna be like taking pictures with you or inviting you to places. That's fine. I'm cool with that. And I do appreciate the people who do invite me out. I do. And that's why I go. When those people invite me, I go and I give them the Griff. Okay. You want to know? Because I want you to succeed. Now, I'm gonna close with this. Supposed to be my third closing. If I'm incorrect in any of this, and I don't know how many people are going to hang in. I appreciate the 31 people that's been here and that's hanging in here right now. I don't even know what the like button look like because I know YouTube always wants you to click the like button. So please click the like button. And now they done dropped down. So two people that hopped out. Like, oh, he know we in here. I don't know who you were, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I'm incorrect in what I am talking about on any aspect, or if anybody has a different viewpoint, I'm more than willing to listen. I'm more than willing to listen. As I've always said, I'm trying to get to the truth of the matter because there's so much noise out here about what notary's supposed to do and how to make money. If what you're saying is legit and true, show me how it fits in with my state law that I have taken an oath to abide by. That's the issue. I can't stop you, and I'm not trying to stop you from saying and teaching what you're teaching, saying and teaching. You're going to do what you're going to do. But you have an obligation. If you want my money, is to show me how what you're teaching fits in my state law. And if you say, well, that ain't my goal, that ain't my, so then it's my goal, it's my responsibility. Got it. Okay. So based off of what I'm seeing, that is not what my state law is. Now, here's the thing. The moment I share that with you, in my opinion, you need to add that to your disclaimers for the people of my state. Hey, I have this great program that's going to teach you that you're more than a notary. However, in the state of Virginia, you're not more than a notary. In the state of Texas, you're almost more than a notary, but not really. In the state of California, you ain't nowhere near more than a. In other words, the moment you as a trainer comes to the knowledge of the limitations of what you're saying, you have an obligation, in my opinion, to put that out up front and say, hey, what I'm teaching is applicable here, here, here. And here's the proof that it is. And here's the proof where it's not applicable to you. If they're not willing to do that, I don't think you should have anything to do with them. And a lot of people will be sitting here, you know, you be getting mad at me. Yeah, I know my closing number three, which I'm a former preacher also, y'all. So that's where I get a little bit of my orator skills from. But yeah, and that's right. Q speaking tomorrow in Plymouth, PA. So if you're in the area, hit them up. Hit him up at Captivated Notary on Instagram, DM him, and he'll give you the information to where you can come out and check him out. But this is just a common sense thing. And again, you trainers who hear this, because I know somebody might clip this and say, Griffin talking smack again. Yes, I'm talking smack again. But if you believe in what you're doing, I believe in what I'm doing and saying it just as well as you believe in what you're saying, then let's have a discussion. But most people, you don't want to have a discussion because then that means your stuff got to be on Front Street and you got to back your stuff. And if you're saying, oh no, this is the way, okay, fine. Because I'm more than willing to be shown that I'm wrong. I'm more than willing. And I will come out and do a live and say, I was wrong. Here's what I found. And I'm doing this because I don't know if this stuff is what they're telling us is fully true across the board for notaries. Now, the research that I've done and the people who I've talked to who've been in this business longer than me have told me, no, we can't. We're not allowed to prepare legal documents. We can't use third parties to do that. We can't find no, so there's all of these caveats about it. And I'm like, is it legal? And if you're not willing as a business owner to find out whether what you're being asked to do or being taught to do is legal, then you're not a person that needs to be in business. Heck, you don't even want to, you won't even do stuff what people told you to do in your job because well, that ain't a part of our policies. I got the handbook right here. Okay. I got it tattooed on my neck, the whole policy, on dress code. And no, we can't wear flip-flops. No, we can't wear open toe. No, our pants got to be below our knees. No, we can't have our backs out. Oh no, we can't do this and we can't do that. No business casual Friday. What are you doing dressed like that? I mean, you know that manual at your W-2. You need to know the manual for your business. If you know the manual, look, many of you know your W-2 manual, but you don't know the manual for your business. You know your W-2 manual, but you don't know your entrepreneur manual for your business, and therefore you're lost. If you want to get unlost, learn the manual for your business. That's where we at, people. All right. Y'all have a good one. Remember, Captivated Notary, hit Q up. I appreciate it. I was not planning on talking this long, but now I got that late night ice cream I gotta hit up. So I don't know which one I'm gonna get. I got some chocolate, I got some caramel, I got some green tea. Might hit that chocolate. You know what? I have to hit that chocolate because I ate the caramel the other day. So I'm gonna hit that chocolate tonight and stuff. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. I really do appreciate y'all hopping on, all of the questions and everything. And feel free to go back and look at it again. I wasn't planning on being on here 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours. But yeah, that green tea ice cream ain't no joke. It is good. It is good. It is real good. So yeah, I might be hitting that one tonight and save the chocolate one for tomorrow. But don't be telling on me. All right. Y'all have a good one. Peace.